Hey, what's up YouTube? So today I'm going to showcase my off-meta fun light attack werewolf PvE build. This build is optimized for group content as best as possible and uses mythics and trial gear, so it's not a super beginner friendly build. The build parses about 78k and is usable in most content. Furthermore, it is an interesting and fun way to play the game. As with all builds, please use these builds as a baseline as there's many viable gear sets and skills in the game, and builds should be tailored for specific content for optimal results. With that being said, here we go. So as per usual, starting off in the character sheet, I have 64 points in a stamina, and I'm running the Thief Mundus. For the race, because we are a stamina build, we're going to be opting to use Dark Elf as per usual. For the food, you have 3 different options, the same ones. RTM takeaway broth is probably your best choice, whereas Dubious Cameron Throne is going to be the cheaper alternative, and Lava Food Soup and Salt Rice is the go-to if you need more sustain. For the potions, we're going to be using Standard Essence of Stamina, just your typical trash stamina potions. Reason is we have access to Major Savagery and Brutality through our Werewolf skill line, so we don't have to worry about having access to either of those through weapon power potion. Moving along, for CP, for the blue tree, we're going to be running Fighting Finesse, Weapons Expert, Deadly Aim, and Backstabber. You can swap out Backstabber for a different CP if you like. For the red tree, we're running Bloody Renewal, Rejuvenation, Fortified, and Balanced Vitality. So for the gear, we're running 3 main sets that revolve around our light attacks: Galerian's Revenge, Reliquin, and Belharz's Band. So starting off with the weapons, we're running Galerian's Daggers, Nirnhoned with a flame damage enchant for the main hand, Charge with a poison damage enchant. So what Galerian's is going to do is every 5th light attack, it's going to just cause them to detonate for magic damage. This proc is actually really strong considering you're using a lot of light attacks through this build. So Slime Crawl, the typical 1-piece Divines with max stam, medium, 5-piece Reliquin because Reliquin is really good. If you can't run Reliquin, you can always choose a different set. You can even run something like Light Armor, honestly. For the shoulders, Galerian, because we need 1 piece because we're running a mythic ring. So this is Divines with max stam. Reliquin again, all Divines, max stam. And 2 pieces for the necklace and ring so that you get your 5-piece. Bloodthirsty with weapon and spell damage enchants. And lastly, Belharz's, A, because this gives us a flat increase to our light attacks by 900, and B, it does an okay proc damage. It's not really that strong, but it is strong enough to warrant using. So Bloodthirsty with a weapon and spell damage enchant. So for the skills, we're going to be running Brutal Pounce. This is a good dot, and on top of that, if you cast it again, it'll give you a stack of the weapon and spell damage. Make sure you try to keep up 6 stacks as best as possible. Howl of Agony, this is just there because it's just a werewolf skill. We're not going to be using it. Deafening Roar, this is going to give us access to Off Balance and also Major Breach and Minor Maim, but it's really just there for the slotted Major Savagery. Claws of Anguish, another dot we're actually going to be using. And Hircine's Rage, this is a heal, but also gives us stand back and gives us Major Berserk, both which, well, the Major Berserk is what we really need. And Ultimate Werewolf Berserker, because this one applies a bleed to your light attacks. So for the rotation, it really isn't much of a rotation, but try to keep up 6 stacks of Brutal Pounce and just keep up your other 2 skills, which is your Claws and Hircine's Rage for the Major Berserk, and then you just light attack the whole time. So for closing thoughts, I did just do light attack only instead of using skills, and it was like capping around 68k DPS, which is okay, but I feel like using the 3 other skills for what, 10k more is probably worth it. I did try out Blood Moon because Blood Moon on paper sounds really cool, but the issue with Blood Moon is if you're just going for a pure light attack build, then it will work, but because the cooldown on Blood Moon is so long and the time that it's procced is so short, you have to time that burst window with whenever your dots are up, meaning you can't be casting your dots when Blood Moon activates. So it was just too much of a hassle. But if you want to swap out Reliquin for Blood Moon, it wouldn't be a bad choice. I mean, you would lose a decent amount of damage just because Reliquin is just so strong. But there's some scenarios in the game where you just can't run Reliquin, and something like Blood Moon is not a bad choice. Another set I did play around with for this build was Noble Duelist. Noble Duelist was okay. It is in light armor though, whereas Blood Moon is in medium. So if you wanted to run Noble Duelist, you can on weapons and jewelry. And I think that wraps it up. As always, thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, or better yet, come join our Discord. Link is in the description. I will have a written guide linked in the description for those who would prefer that instead. And as always, thank you to my YouTube members. If you want to help me support my content creation, please consider becoming a member. And as always, thanks again, and see you in the next one.